All right, on the allergy report, thanks to the rain that we have across the area, it's going to be pretty low, thankfully. So allergy sufferers might be feeling a little bit better. Here's our forecast today for your Tuesday, October the 7th, 73 degrees. It's a wet one, 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals. Watch for some localized flooding. No severe weather with this. Might get a rumble of thunder, but most of us probably won't. Southwest wind around 5 to 10. And our sunset at 7:16. Our days are getting shorter and shorter. 55, our low tonight, gradually clearing out. I think tomorrow we might see a few leftover clouds, but it's going to be a cooler start in the 50s and only around 70 for your afternoon high tomorrow. Here's your Wednesday forecast: 55 out the door, 65 at noon, 70 with sunshine for tomorrow, and average high is 74 degrees. Your 7-day forecast. We got upper 60s, low 70s for the rest of our work week. Lows down to the 40s, so we got some chilly mornings. And then just gradually a little bit warmer through our harvest homecoming weekend. Saturday, 75, easy for me to say Saturday. 77 on Sunday, and climbing back to near 80 degrees early next week. We might be kind of going into a little bit of a yo-yo roller coaster weather pattern, some warm-ups, some cool-downs through the rest of this month of October. We'll break out the long-range outlook here in a little bit once we start to dig into the weather models. But also taking a peek every now and again at the live radar. Here's the radar loop over the last hour and a half or so. And we've just got this slug of rain cruising right along the Ohio River. So it's going to take a little while to get out of here. And since we're talking about that, we might as well bring up the weather model data and the future radar here is 10:21. That's typically right on time when we start to really look at the weather nerd portion of the show. So we'll, as usual, we'll bring up the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Weather Model. This is right now. It's obviously picking up on the big area, the big blob, so to speak, of rainfall. We'll take this to 2 o'clock here in a few hours. There you can see the rain still over the area, but there is a back end to this system. Notice southwestern Indiana, western Kentucky starting to dry out here at 2 o'clock. We'll go to 3 o'clock. Look at that. We're starting to see that area of rain moving east of I-65, drying out west of I-65. And then here is 4 o'clock, much of Indiana looking drier, maybe just kind of some leftover little raindrops around that time. So improving conditions this afternoon. This is 4 o'clock. And then here is 5 o'clock. So late afternoon, we get a break in the rainfall, but we still haven't had the front move through at that point. Again, I think we might see just a little thin ribbon of some brief rain showers toward early evening. So we'll take this to around 7 o'clock. Notice that filling in just a little bit, the very back end, the tail end of the front moving through here at 8 p.m. So when the really steady rain starts to move off, say mid-late afternoon, we think it's all done. Well, maybe not. We still have the front that'll move through and give us a chance for a few of these little showers. This is around 8 p.m. this evening. And this here is at 9 o'clock. And then as we head towards midnight, pretty much everybody's going to be done with that rainfall. Now we bring up the NAM 3-kilometer weather model, another high-resolution weather model. I'm going to bring this back to now, and it's going to show all of that rain that we have all across the area. Cheers again from Big Happy, keeping us fueled up on our Ben at 10. So here we go. We're going to go to 2 o'clock, just like we did with the HRRR weather model. And there you can see looking a little bit drier out to the west. And then we bump this to 4 p.m. today. And it's pretty similar. There you can see southern Indiana drying out first and a little bit longer with the rainfall over the Commonwealth, as this will be drying out kind of northwest to southeast overall. And then we take this to around 6 p.m. Again, you dry out for a few hours, you think it's done, and then we go to around 7, 8 o'clock, and here's the tail end little showers that could be moving through around 7, 8 o'clock on the very back end of that front. And then we dry out. And then we go into tomorrow morning, and we switch gears from rain to talking about some cooler temperatures on the way, and also dropping dew points, some really dry air is going to be dropping in. So it is humid out there, of course, with the rain around the area now, but we got dew points that'll fall down to the 40s. We probably haven't had dew points in the 40s since May. So this is going to be some really, really feel good weather. So there's just plotting out a few of those dew points. And then as we plop on the temperatures here tomorrow morning out the door here at about 8 o'clock, there you can see that chillier air dropping in from the north. So Canada wins for a little while for our area. As we, did a super zoom there. Plotting out some of the morning temperatures here. There might be a few areas that touch the upper 40s, but I think we're looking at mostly some lower mid 50s getting started tomorrow morning. So the morning jackets for your Wednesday, and then even chillier as we go into tomorrow night. I'll clear that out, and let's go ahead and jump ahead with the GFS weather model and bring up the temperature map. Try not to move the map around too much and make you sick here. All right. So this is looking at tomorrow afternoon. It's showing temperatures in the 60s around the area. We might top out around 70, though. Upper 60s, low 70s. Feeling fantastic. A wonderful Wednesday. And as we go into tomorrow night and into our Thursday morning, this is probably our chilliest morning that we'll have. Friday morning will be pretty chilly as well. But there you can see plotting out a lot of 40s here for you. So boom. Let's feast our eyes on Thursday morning. So the warmer jackets, the car heater, the furnaces might be turning on. Might want to think about switching out the furnace filter, something I probably need to do. It's been a little while. And gearing up for the chillier season ahead, looking a lot more October-y here for us for the next few mornings especially. And then we'll go into our Thursday afternoon, and it's got us mostly in the 60s. Let's say again, upper 60s for our Thursday for most spots. Lillian, that's sweet of you, saying I like the jokes. And Robert Simpson, evidently fall has fell and summer has given up on its great run for now. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, even though we might get back to some lower 80s next week. Peggy Sipes with a good morning. Mike Siebert with the nice and a good morning. Cheers to you. Thanks for tuning in. Quite a bit of rainfall across the area this morning. All right, so that is that. Now, what I want to do real quick, then we'll get back to a live tour of the radar, is to start to move into the longer range outlook. And you know that means it is time for the good old Ben on a Limb segment. So we might have to go a little ways out to find 30s, but we'll do that. We'll stretch the GFS weather model out here. So let's just go ahead and take this into next week. I'll take this to Monday the 13th because the weekend is looking sunny, 70s. Notice as we go into, this is Sunday afternoon, the warm air is starting to surge back over the midsection of the United States. Look at that. Even some 90s out there. All right, so that's out west of us. We're talking 70s over our area. This is Sunday. And then let's see if some of that warmth will head our way. This is going into Monday afternoon. We're probably back around 80 degrees, upper 70s, near 80 Monday. Going into next Tuesday afternoon, look at that warm air back across our area. And also, by the way, there's active weather in the tropics. The swirl right here would be maybe Tropical Storm or Hurricane Jerry, the 10th named storm, which is just in the developmental stages right now. So it looks like a tropical system could be off the East Coast into next week. Clear that out there. So this is the warmth back next Tuesday. Could be seeing some 80s returning to the area. Even look at Texas, still in the 90s. All right, so moving right along here into next Wednesday. The warmth is over us. Could be into the 80s there. So enjoy the October fall-like feel the rest of this week. Then next week, showing a warm-up right there. But that warm-up is likely ahead of a cold front. And that's why I say we're going to probably be moving into some roller coaster style weather. A lot of ups and downs. This is the 16th, so this would be next Thursday. Looks like we dip back down to some 60s and 70s, maybe some chillier nights. This is going into, I believe this would be next Friday morning, the 17th. There's some 40s popping back in. Roller coaster style weather pattern right there. All right, we'll take this. I think the models were showing around the 21st, 22nd. We might start to see a bigger change. So I'm jumping ahead here to the 21st of October. Yeah, and it looks like that might be when we start to see some chillier air working in. So again, this is the long range segment of the show. Been on a limb. We're looking down the road here a little ways. This is 366 hours out with the GFS weather model. It's hinting at a cool down. Look at that. Dropping in from Canada. So what does this mean? This would be the morning of the 22nd. I don't even really know what day that is of the month, but it is showing the potential maybe for some 30s at that point in time. But not terribly cold. It's not crazy cold. We typically get a frost mid to late October. Not sure if we will, but there you can see at least a chance at some chillier numbers across the area. This is going into the 22nd afternoon, showing highs in the 50s. And that's as far out as the GFS really wants to go. And this was like 23rd morning, it goes into some chillier 30s there. All right. So that's just a kind of a sneak peek at what we might be seeing late in the month. And for the rest of this week, after today, I don't see any rain for a long time unless something really changes with the weather pattern. But there's a look at maybe some chillier stuff down the road here with the long range outlook. And my friends, that has been the Ben on a Limb segment. All right, I'm going to pop up the live.